Okay, right, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about Memories of Lords. This is the 150th Test match to be played on this ground. The first Test match was played here in 1884, and since then, of course, there have been many stunning highlights.
Archer bowls it, it's clipped away into the leg side. They're going to come back for the second. The throw is picked up, they throw to the wicket-keeper's end. He's run out, is he? I think he's run out. England think he's run out.
Oh, hang on. Now, this is interesting. Bairstow's walked out of his crease. You're thinking it's the end of the over. Carey has flung the stumps down from long range. Bairstow stalks off. He's had a word there with the Australians going past. They could have withdrawn the appeal.
Bashir bowls. Siraj gets one that spins. He bowled him! Bowled him! He's played on, and Bashir is leaping around. He's engulfed by his teammates. Siraj cannot believe it.
Shrubsole in now. Bowls for Bowser! 6 wickets for Anya Shrubsole, England's hero. England win the World Cup in front of a packed house at Lords, who go nuts in the crowd.
In goes Stokes. Listen to the crowd. He bowls outside the off stump. He's caught in the gully. As Stokes, with 2 balls left in this over, is on his way. He's there. He bowls to McCullum. He's bowled him. He's bowled him first ball.
And he's given him. That's all it took. They all had to come back with just 3 deliveries, and Phil Tufnell takes 5 wickets again.
Agnew 95 for 7 now. Lily's gone for 12. So some excellent bowling at the death by Leicestershire. Well, that's an extraordinary stroke. Because just as he played it, I had the feeling that he hadn't quite middled it. In fact, he did, and he's hit it for 6 and gone past the 200 mark to become only the 9th cricketer in the history of the game to make a double century at Lords.
Well, an eclectic mix of memories there. A fifer for Tuffers.
Yes.
A one-day cup win for Aggers playing for Leicestershire.
1985.
1985,
Beating Gooch.
Yeah, well, a memorable day for you. And what we've done is we've got Tuffers together, and Michael is here as well, and Jonathan, just to look back actually at some of the memories at Lords.
I've got a quiz for us. Phil Tufnell at Lords.
Yeah.
How many balls do you think Philip Tufnell has bowled here at the home of cricket?
I must have bowled a few.
Well, in county cricket as well?
Yes, all Test matches and county cricket. How many balls has Philip Tufnell...
Take my calculator out. How many years did you play, Duffers?
18 years.
I'll give you a clue. He played 96 matches.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, okay. 96.
There you go.
Times.
It's not easy doing arithmetic on the air.
No, it's not.
Okay, so
a few thousand,
17,000.
Not bad, I guess. He bowled 23,039 balls here at Lords. he got 1,101 maidens, 347 wickets, which is very good. 96 matches.
Yeah.
807 runs.
Lovely.
He scored.
Listen, he had a very good batting lineup at that time. I wasn't required quite.
That's a lot of balls, Phil.
It's a lot of balls.
How many did you lose?
I loved it. No, loved every minute of it playing here. Let's be honest, as a young kid walking into Lords, that hadn't really wanted to be a professional cricketer or anything, sort of fell into it a little bit. But that walk in, I can remember with me Tesco's bags over my back with me boots in. To do...
You had your boots in your...
Yeah, that was for the MCCYCs, and we were all meeting up in the dressing room, the home dressing room. And I've turned up, and I just went, wow, this is some place. It really...
Did you have a kit back?
Not really. No? Not in those days. There was all the other fellas in blazers with sort of Esker on them and everything, and I managed to sort of get in and turn up, and got told off by Don Wilson.
Yes.
Don Wilson. What a touch to have that as the as your main mentor at the MCCYCs and England left arm spin bowler.
A great man too.
Yeah, he was a great lad. Yeah. And I can just remember.
What year was you?
Don't ask me about the years, Mike. It must have been 84, 5 or something.
That was the first time you came here.
Yeah, first time I came through those gates. Yeah,
I played with Derek Pringle here when I was 16. We were playing for sort of England schools knockout type thing. You progressed. You got to play the armed forces or something like that. It was back in the day when all those sorts of games were played here. But that was my first. I was 16 when I first played here, and you never forget the first time.
No,
you never forget any time really. No. Just the smell of the place when you walk in the
Yeah.
pavilion, and all the stewards and
But
the tea trolley trundling up the corridor.
Yeah.
All those sorts of things. Wooden trolley.
Yeah.
My first, I said it the other day, Mike Gatting giving me a Duncan Fearnley bat. I was young cricketer or top scorer in, I think it was 1988. And I think the Daily Telegraph had sponsored it. And Gat gave me down in the tavern stand in the boxes. And the Middlesex, you might have been playing. Middlesex were playing, and I got invited down, and my school got a kit bag with £1,000 worth of kitting to take back to Sheffield. Silverdale Comp were happy with that. Yeah, so that was my first arrival here at Lord's.
Yeah, and I think my first game of cricket I've ever seen was at here as well. My dad took me here, Middlesex. I can't quite remember who it was, and I can remember Don Bennett, who was my coach.
Very patient man, Don.
20 years. I can remember watching him bowl, and I could only, must have only been about 8 or something, I don't know. So that was my first sort of game of cricket I watched, was at Lord's. But it was a big thing, wasn't it? Son, we're going to Lord's.
Yes.
What?
Gillette Cup final, 7-1, my first game here.
Yeah, there you
sitting
go.
in the old grandstand.
What, the first game you came to watch?
Yeah, I was 11 years old.
Yeah.
And watched Lancashire Kent playing here in the Gillette Cup final. And Peter Lever bowling from this end. I said to my dad, that's who I want to be. I want to be Peter Lever.
Was Bumble playing?
Bumble's playing.
Was he?
Jack Bond was captain. Yeah. And so, I mean, it works out in a silly way. Bumble, Barry Wood. I could go through that team. Harry Pilling, Clive Lloyd, Farouk Engineer, all Ken Shuttleworth, Lever Lee. You go through that team.
Were you sat in the stands or just...
Yeah,
Because
I was in the grandstand.
Yeah, my memories of Lord's are actually on the telly. You know, I used to absolutely adore the finals.
Oh, yeah.
The NatWest
was-
final.
they
Or
were
the
pitch
BH.
Black. It was pitch black.
Oh, I'd just sit by it all day. I'd get the scorebook out and I'd score the game. And
Yeah.
Did you, mate?
honestly, I did, yeah. I used to always do that, and I used to always kind of wanted to be the fans by the boundary rope that ran on.
Yeah.
Oh, why would you be? She's saying, why would you sit in the stands where you can sit on the grass? Get ready to run on.
They did run on too. They ran on at the World Cup final, didn't they? Of course, chaos.
Yeah.
With the Australia West Indies.
Yes, they did in 1975. So those are your sort of first memories of coming in. We've all asked you to select your sort of favourite kind of playing, commentating memories of being here. I don't know if you can still remember the ones you gave at sort of 1:30 today, but I've got a list, fortunately, for you. But Jonathan, let's start. Leicestershire 85, winning the Benson Hedges Cup.
Yes. We never won anything. And what was lovely about that was, yes, we were playing Essex. And so they were a good side, and they were used to winning things. And we didn't do as well as we should, actually. We had a really very good side. But to come and play, but what I loved about the finals in those days, and okay, that was the one that we played, but also the semi-finals, which were big days as well, you saw all the members who loyally followed you through at Grace Road, year after year after year with nothing. And suddenly there they are, sitting over in the grandstand or whatever. It's all those familiar faces. And it's a great day. Those finals here, and it's such a shame that they've lost that.
Yeah.
Because they really were, and it was a county cricketer's day out. And it was absolutely fantastic. And a couple of memories of that game. We were in the visiting side. That's where we were, and it was all getting a bit tense. And I remember Paddy Clift, Peter Woolley played really well. Paddy Clift waiting to go in, and a great section of the ceiling of the dressing room just fell down straight on his head as he was watching, waiting to go out the bat. I don't know why it fell down. I was sharing a house with Gordon Parsons, the old fast bowler Gordon, and he bowled beautifully. He bowled something like 11 overs for 30 or something. He bowled beautifully. And in those days, of course, you rushed back in time for the high. But there was no champagne. There was no celebration. We won the game, drove home. There was just nothing. And so he said, come on, let's get back and watch the highlights. Obviously, he wanted to watch himself. So he got back to our flat, got it on just in time, watched the highlights. And because he'd taken 0 for 30, you did not see him in the whole programme. You didn't see him bowl a ball. You didn't see him field the ball. He didn't bat. Gordon Parsons did not feature at all.
But you got a wicket, so you must have featured.
I tell you who I got out. Oh God, what's his name? He was the crazy fellow from Essex. Alan Lilly.
Alan Lilly.
Yeah, I bowled him out. Great fellow, Lil. Yeah. Oh, it was the county cricketers and the county cricket supporters' day out. And it was absolutely brilliant.
I think in the 90s when I first started in county cricket, the only thing I wanted to do was play in a Lord's final.
Yeah.
I didn't have any ambitions or kind of goals at that time to play for England. I just want to take Yorkshire.
And we had two. You had Gillette Cup and Benson Hedges.
Yeah.
Or the NatWest as the Gillette Cup came. And one. And the nice thing actually, we actually balanced the season out well because you played the Benson and Hedges rounds first at the start of the season. There was zonal games, and one or two got affected by the weather, but it was like a league. So if you lost one or two to weather or something, it didn't really matter. So you played those at the start of the season.
That's when the minor counties were involved.
We got beaten by Shropshire. Minor counties up there. So anyway. And then, when the Benson Hedges was done, all the qualifying rounds, then he started playing county cricket, championship cricket, and that started sort of early May. Pitch is nice, weather warmed up a bit, So it actually gave a good starting balance to the season playing as Benson Hedges game.
Did you play in the Lord's final, Mike? I can't remember.
Yeah, we. I think we lost to Gloucester in 1, and we beat Somerset here in 2002. Matthew Elliott got 100, smashed caddy all over the place. I actually took a very good catch in that.
You did?
I did. I did. I caught Trescothick flying one-handed at cover. I know you're all looking at me like I'm lying. I did. Look at you on YouTube.
Well, a bit surprised.
Yeah.
Well,
it stuck.
Well, Jack, who put that compilation together, you heard at the start, you didn't manage to find that catch, Michael. I'm not sure it did exist. Did you play in Lord's final, Tuffers? You'd have played in Lord's final, didn't you?
No. We had Philippe and John Emery sort of thing. I was always sort of lurking around.
So were they considered better one-day bowlers then, were they?
Yes, that's right.
When Ramps played as a 17-year-old.
That's right, against Worcester here.
Yeah, were you in the squad?
I was in the squad. I was
Not
12.
the 11, Phil.
Yeah, but didn't get in. No, I didn't get in. Well, it started at 10:30 or something, and Fraze nipped it around all over the place. So it was sort of like, let's go and have a look at the wicket. Well, we got Embers. It's 10:30. It's going to do all sorts. Sorry, Cat. You're right. You're 12ers. But I can remember. We had a good one-day side. I can remember being on the balcony and being part of 2 or 3. I think.
Were you actually fielding 12th man?
I think they might have got a youngster in. Well, I was a youngster then, yeah. I think I was. I think I might have run a drink out or something, or a pair of gloves.
You've all given us your 5 top memories, and that was one of yours, Jonathan,
yes.
the Leicestershire winning the 1985 Benson Hedges Cup, but also some other moments from you as well. So you went for Stokes bowling against New Zealand in 2015, getting McCullum and Williamson out. Actually, we heard that in the compilation at the start.
I got it because of the crowd, really. I mean, this place is normally quite quiet and respectful. The World Cup final was different. This is a Test match, and that spell from Stokes, his bowling from this end, was electric. And he bowled brilliantly, swung the ball, bowled fast, and to get McCullum second, he got 2 wickets.
First ball he got it.
First ball, and the whole place just looked
whoosh. There was a massive whoosh.
Yeah, so it was just one of those moments that you remember.
Great shout.
Yeah, just really for the crowd and the way that Stokes bowled that day.
He got 100 in the game as well. I think
He
the
did.
fastest 100.
Very fast one. Yes, he did. Yeah, 100 balls more or less, I think.
Yeah. That's celebrated actually downstairs in the media centre. There's a big montage of photographs down there, and that's one of them. Michael, you went for Archer against Smith in the 2019 Ashes. Actually, you're slightly distracted at the moment. I think you found your catch on your phone.
You found it.
Yeah.
Oh,
There you go, John. Just have a look at that while I talk about Joffrey Snell.
The replay of this. It's off the Hogster.
Yeah, the Hogster is bowling to Trescothick, and I'm at. I don't know why I'm at cover pointish.
Oh.
It's amazing how you found that so quickly, Michael.
Well, I have a few helpers.
Right. So you Archer versus Smith in 2009.
Again, it was the atmosphere and everything around Joffre and his arrival. Thanks, John. His arrival into the England team, and obviously bowling to, at the time, someone that was the best. And the way that he ran in from the pavilion end, and it was just brutal. And he just made Steve Smith, and he is a great player. He made him look very average for a short period of time. And obviously, the blow, and then Marnus coming out, and there was obviously
him as well.
Peppered Marnus Labuschagne. And again, it's the atmosphere of this place. When something, Lords, they're a very knowledgeable crowd, and they can always kind of feel when something special's happening. And you're the same with Ben's spell against New Zealand back in the day, but that occasion, the Ashes and Joffre Archer charging in, I don't think there's many better spectacles in cricket when a quick bowler is charging into a real quality batter, and there's a bit of chin music.
I can remember I was commentating on that, and everyone was watching it, I can remember turning round and there was like about 30 people in the back of the box. No one said anything. They were just going, just eyeballs wide, you know. Amazing. Slow pitch as well. And then old Marnus came out, knocked him over as well, didn't he?
Yes.
Got him sconed.
It's Tuffers, one of your memories. It says here, Tuffers is 5 for against Sri Lanka.
Oh, well, thanks very much.
That was one of yours, Tuffers. It wasn't one of ours, it was one of yours.
Well, I'm on the honours board. I know Michael's up there about 7 or 8 times. But, yeah, I mean, you come to Lords, don't you? And you want to get on the honours board, and I managed to achieve it. A very, very good Sri Lankan side.
Was it a flat wicket, Phil?
It was extremely flat. And managed to wheagle out 5 Sri Lankans.
Who did you get out?
I think it Hattura Singha, I think, Mahanama, Gurasingha. Might have been, I don't know.
Aravinda?
Might have been Aravinda, but well, you know,
Wijigan Awardner.
But there you go. I'm not quite sure who it was, but you know, but to get 5 for and then get it at Lords and get on that, you know, it was an achievement. You know, I was absolutely delighted with myself. Everyone can remember as a kid growing up, you know, and you hear all you lot talking on the radio about honours boards and everything. I wanted to do it and did it.
Did they do... So what year was that?
God knows.
Well, it's mid-90s, yeah?
Mid-90s.
I think
Did they
Sid
put-
Lawrence played and Jack Russell played.
Let's bring Zoltz in.
That's right, yeah.
Go on, Zoltz.
Well, it mixed up a few games. I think the Lawrence and Russell played in '88. Toughest one was 1991. The five batters dismissed: Hattura Singha, Asanka Gurasinghe, Roshan Mahanama, Hashan Tilakarat, wicketkeeper, dogged player, and number 11 Don Anurasiri.
Oh, so you didn't get Aravinda out there?
I can remember who gave me my 5, and it was the number 11. It was John Hampshire. And LBW. Didn't get used to get too many LBWs, and I thought, I'm not going to get my 5.
Was it missing?
Might have been.
Did they do the tape on the board back in the day when you came back in the dressing?
No, because that was to win the game. That was to actually then win the game. So I got the 5, won the game, and we all got up. And I've got a wonderful picture, actually, very emotional photo, actually, say, of Sid Lawrence, Hugh Morris. Yeah, lovely picture, and myself, Daffy, Chris Lewis. All that England side on that sort of like a really good selfie.
You know, people are quite obsessed with the honours board, right?
Yeah.
But they're only a recent thing. They weren't there when I played.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, the honours board didn't exist.
When did the honours board come
I don't know, but it's certainly after I finished anyway.
Really?
There weren't any honours boards up. It's a new concept. They're everywhere now, aren't they? Most grounds have an honours board.
Well, didn't you must have felt chuffed when you got your first ton here, Mike? Yeah, on the honours board.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it was against Sri Lanka.
Oh, there you go.
I think I want you to join yourself against Sri Lanka, Phil. Oh yeah, I mean, I think you play for England. That's a tick, isn't it? You've got your England cap, and the next thing you want is 100. I got 100 at Old Trafford, and then your next thing is like, I want 100 at Lords. Got 100 at Lords, and you kind of tick these things off. But yeah, the honours board was huge. From when I was growing up.
A motivator.
Yeah,
it was.
I remember playing against Middlesex here.
I had to find out when
in the 90s, and we played on a pitch right that it was in line with the away dressing room.
That's right. I got you out, Mike.
Did you?
Yeah, Bolger. I think you had about 120.
Did you get me out?
I did get you out, bold, Mike. Turned forward offensive. You went like.
Was that first innings or second innings?
I can't remember. But I did get you.
I think I got 100.
Yeah, you did get 100.
Yeah.
Two of you went for the Johnny Bairstow incident.
Oh, yes, that was great.
In the last Ashes.
With me and Phil.
Well, both of you went. Yeah, both of you went. Well, why did you go for that? Why has that resonated with you as a sort of as a Lord's moment?
I just thought
Kicked
it was
off.
Yeah, everything around it was dramatic. It was controversial. The long room. You know, the reaction from the members, the reaction from the England team, the reaction when they came back out. Stuart Broad, I think he was having a pop at one of the Aussie players when they were coming out to bat. I mean, it just...
And then Stokes...
and I think we all said, this place has a history of great atmosphere at Keema. I'd never known this place...
No, it was angry.
So angry.
It was a Sunday, wasn't it? There's a bit of a different feel to a Sunday here.
Yeah.
Stuart said something like, "That'll haunt you forever," or something like that to Alex Carey.
Yeah.
As he came up, he said you could hear it down the... It wasn't quite those words.
Had you interviewed Rishi Sunak that day?
That would be on the Saturday or the Sunday. It might be on the Saturday.
Oh, was it? No, because I have a memory of Rishi Sunak sort of going absolutely.
Oh, perhaps it was a Sunday.
Yes, I can have a memory of the Prime Minister
he came
going,
into the-
that's an absolute disgrace.
He does like his cricket.
Yeah, it was like a bear pit. And then Stokesy got that 155, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely
Smashed
teed
it.
off. And I can remember Steve Smith dropped one down there, and all the crowd were on him. Oh, it's
But he
amazing.
just knew it. He knew. I was commentating. He just knew if it was given out, it was going to kick. He just knew it was going to kick off.
Yeah.
And it was interesting doing that because. So I was commentating with Glenn McGrath. There was no doubt in my mind as a commentator that's the end of the over. Through it goes, boom. And actually, what they don't show in many of the clips is the umpire actually taking the sweater out,
right,
and he's handing it to the bowler.
Correct.
All he didn't do was call over. But he had taken his sweater out and was doing that. Johnny Bairstow taps his foot in his ground deliberately, boom, walks out, and of course we know what happened. So. The thing I felt about that, and one day I don't know if I asked Pat Cummins or not about it, but I wonder if Pat Cummins slightly regrets that opportunity that he might have had, because all the stuff about Australia cheating, bad sports, and the whole place was shouting about Aussies always cheating.
Incredible.
England, they were winning that game. That could have been the moment where he really made a decision that could have killed all that stuff forever. And I just wonder when the third umpire was reviewing it, if he just said to Johnny Bairstow, I won't do it this time, Johnny, but you do that again, you're out. What the image of Australian cricket might have been.
I've heard him speak about it. I don't think he'll ever.
No, he won't.
No,
I interviewed him afterwards. He was steaming down there at the response.
Skilled, Johnny was dozy, and in the rules of the law of cricket, it was out.
Well, it was. If you take it to the
kicked
nth
off,
degree, it was out. Absolutely.
It did kick off. And then you could see Stokesy was absolutely
steaming.
furious.
You were angry, Phil.
Well, we was all angry. I was livid up here. But I can remember, then Stokesy just smashing sixes when it was going.
Stark was bowling quick. And kept on just almost sweeping him into the tavern stand.
And the cheers, it was brilliant.
Yes, it was.
I think Australia, just talking to Australians, we were there over the winter, I think that they're utterly bemused by the English reaction, aren't they? They just cannot understand it. It was like, well, why, the bloke's out of his crease, why wouldn't you sort of roll the ball at the stumps and get rid of him?
It's our old
stay in
friend, the
your
spirit
ground.
of cricket again, and people's perceptions of it that line are in different places.
Yeah, they are completely different.
Yeah.
I don't think he might when he's 70. I don't know, but
a hero.
I don't think he does now. But I think you're right in the sense that it turned the game, didn't it? It kind of it almost opened the way for England. They weren't quite able to go through the door actually, because you look at it. I think England needed 70 with 4 wickets left, which ultimately it wasn't a bad position to be in. And then Stokes was out, and then they rather crumbled, didn't they?
I mean, I don't think Stokes would have played the way he did without that incident.
No.
I think it really kind
It was a spark.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and Broad played well. He came out, didn't he?
Yeah, hung
he played
around.
He was the usual Stewart. He was kind of being a pest. And
Well, do you remember he kept asking to get permission to leave his ground, didn't he? Kept getting around, right, no. When he was really going over the top with it. But the atmosphere down there by the pavilion at the end, where we get sent down to do the end, I'd never known anything like it.
I think a couple of members got sort of barred.
Oh, they were suspended, weren't they? But they manhandled the Australians, which is totally out of order.
Oh, absolutely.
And the members there at Lords are in a very fortunate position. I mean, there aren't many sporting places like this, venues like this, where you're so close to the players. And it's a privilege. And if they want it's sanitised and no one allowed in there when the players come through, well, that's the way to guarantee it, isn't it? So, yeah, that was unfortunate.
John, you went for a long way back now. Bob Massey's 16 wickets.
Yes. Well, that was the first game of cricket.
1972.
Yeah. That was. I remember watching it entirely on television. I was 12, black and white telly at home, and it's one of those. It sounds a bit of a sad childhood, but I'd sit and watch the Test match, curtains drawn. Mum would come in at lunchtime, be served lunch at lunchtime and have a cup of tea at tea time, and you'd lived the Test match. But the point was, they went out afterwards, and I had a brother who's 2 years younger than me, and he'd go out and copy your heroes in the garden. You'd watch them on the telly, which of course, the fortunate ones can do now, and but many can't. But that was absolutely mind-boggling to see how Bob Massey swung that ball. Some incredible deliveries. I mean, cleaning up batsmen from round the wicket with massive in-swingers. And it was absolutely incredible. And Dennis Lilly was tearing it as well. There was lots about it. And people who we've got to know very well playing, Rod Marsh, Ian Chappell, Keith Stackpole, people that, as England's as English people, we're not supposed to like. But actually, as we do this job, you get to know what great people they are. But the main thing was just watching and being spellbound by how Bob Massey bowled that day. And again, it's I do tell this story sometimes, but years later, I'm working with Bob at the Wacker on a test match for ABC Radio, and he just said, he's a bit of a hero. I didn't, because those sort of memories stay with you, don't they? And he said, mate, I'm having a barbie tonight. You want to come along? And I said, well, yes, I'd love to, Bob. So I got invited to his house, and on the way there in the taxi, I thought, I wonder what he's got. And sure enough, I got in the house, and there in the trophy cabinet were the 2 balls from the game. And he saw me just gazing at them. He said, mate, I said, I watched the Bob, that game meant so much. He said, mate, hold them? And I said, yes, Bob, I'd love to. So I held Bob's balls in my hand, and it was like sort of, turning the clock back to the age of 12 and watching that incredible spell of bowling.
Were they heavy?
Well, they were just as you expect, but they were mounted, I think, from memory, and quite shiny. But one of those things, it makes you turn the clock back, and memories, Simon.
Results remind us a bit more about that game.
Well, Massey took 8 in both innings. It was his debut, finished with match figures of 16 for 137 in a game that Australia won, part of a drawn 2-all series. At that point, the 3rd best figures in Test history. Now the 4th best, Narendra Hawani, also on debut, 16 for 136 for India against West Indies. Massey only played 5 more Tests and took 15.
Never swung the ball again.
15 more wickets in his career.
Yeah, it was extraordinary. And I've talked to Ray Lingworth about it, who was the England captain, a typical Illy. He said, well, whenever we batted, the sun went behind the cloud, whenever we bowled, the clouds went away. So he's sort of jesting, that Bob swung them around under cloud cover. There was talk about lip salve and that sort of stuff, but it was just one of those extraordinary things.
Michael, you went for a game, as we move on, you went for a game in the early part of the 21st century where Cork and Gough won a game here.
They bowled beautifully as well, yeah.
Against West Indies.
West Indies, yes, that's
right.
it. I actually, I got brought into the team. I think Nasser broke his finger at Edgbaston. I think I went 1-0 down in the series. Came here, Stewie was captain. If my memory is correct, I think the West Indies got about 280 odd in the first innings, and then we were bowled out quickly. I think they had a lead of 134, and then Caddick, Gough, and Cork came out and bowled them out for 54. And I think we needed 190 to win. And then the lights were on. It was gloomy. We carried on in those days. We actually played, and Kirtley and Courtney were running in. And we just managed to. I think me and Ath put on a few, but it took forever. And then at the end, I think Corky got 30 odd not out.
He did.
Goughy had to wheel himself out to get a few at the end as well, maybe 4 or 5. But it was on a knife edge. It was, again, that was my first kind of experience of the crowd here at Lord's. The atmosphere. It was jam-packed, and Kirtley, Courtney kind of running. I think
Cork was brilliant.
I think Franklin Rose was playing for the West Indies as well, and King. I think they were running in. And Cork around that time, for a lot of his career, he knew how to win a game.
Yeah.
He knew how to win a game with the ball, but with the bat as well. He'd done it many times for Derbyshire.
Competitive sometimes.
Yeah, and he came out and he was, a bit like Stuart Broad actually. Kind of in a bit of a pest. And then he hit I think it was through extra cover or through the cover point region, hit the boundary to win the game. And that was us back in the series, and we ended up obviously winning the Wisden Trophy for.
And he pointed to somebody very obviously.
Yes, he did.
I never knew who it was. No, that was Nasser. But Cork pointed deliberately to somebody down here, and I often wondered who. I'll have to ask him next time.
I think there's a picture of it downstairs in our tea room, and he is holding up some sort of.
Oh, perhaps he was. I was getting confused with the Nasser one.
No, well, Nasser, of course, did that as well. Might have been to you, actually.
I saw him in the lift 2 days ago. He said, "You're not going to talk to me about interviewing." I said, "Well, I might mention that gesture." He said, "Well, you'll get a mention then." So I was quite flattered to be one of those 3, actually.
Was I right with those numbers, Zols?
You were very close. West Indies 267, England 134 all out, so a lead of 133. So you were 1 out there. West Indies all out 54, England 109. 91 for 8 to win by 2 wickets on the second day of that game.
It was second day, wasn't it?
Yeah,
all 4 teams back. All 4
so
innings were.
at the end of West Indies' first innings. At the end of the first day, they were 9 down, and the whole of England's first innings and West Indies' second innings, and England just batted 7 balls at the end of the day in their second innings. So the majority of that chase on day 3, and it was a thrilling. But a similar bit to there was a Pakistan test here in 1992 that had a sort of similar ending, with Pakistan beating England with Waqar and Wasim in another sort of dramatic, fluctuating game.
Vaguely remember.
And that was a significant victory actually for England, wasn't it? Because they had a pretty low ebb through the 90s, end of the 90s, and it was kind of the first step back, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, and I'm pretty sure it was at the end of that series. I think we won 3-1.
Yeah,
we won. It had only a 2-day game.
That's right.
Yeah, 2-day game at I think. Again, Gough and Caddy. I think Caddy got 4 in an over.
Yeah, that's right.
And then we won at the Oval. I think that was. Yeah, I think we drew. I think it was Stewie's 100th test at Old Trafford that we drew. I think there was a draw at Old Trafford, and then went to the Oval, and we won at the Oval, and it was a 3-1 set. I think then we went to Pakistan and won in Pakistan, or Sri Lanka first, Pakistan. I can't remember which one came first, but it was around that period. Yeah, started to play some decent cricket and gather a bit of a team.
Didn't sort of Courtney Walsh bowl like 18 overs or something on the spin or something? Just wouldn't stop.
Just Walsh and Ambrose.
Yeah, just Walsh and Ambrose.
How are you going to prepare against the West Indies? Just Walsh and Ambrose.
Yeah,
if you got to King and Franklin Road, there was a few shots played.
Yeah. They didn't mind a bowl, those two fellas, crikey.
Another of your memories, Jonathan, it also involves the West Indies. Gordon Greenwich's double 100 here.
Well, see, I didn't play in that game, but it was I played a couple of games later, and of course my friend David Gow was captain, and I just remember we talked about it the other day when we interviewed him. That declaration, and it's quite interesting how the press kind of put pressure on you, don't they, to do this and do that. It's always easier for up here declarations. It's that classic case of it happens a lot. The media saying declare is ridiculous, batting on far too long, and all that sort of stuff. And of course David did batted on, and I think he declared just before lunch. Andy can check that out. I can't remember what the actual score was that they needed, but it was well over 300.
344.
Yeah, and they smashed them off. Was it 1 wicket down? It was.
Yeah.
I mean, they absolutely romped it.
That was a run out.
It was. It was a run out. I mean, it was Gordon Greenwich was an incredible batsman, and we played against him a lot. Obviously, when he played for Hampshire, and if he came out limping, you knew you were in trouble because he didn't bother running. He just stood there and he smashed a great cutter, great hooker, and he's just one of those. He's a brilliant batsman. But it was just one of the. Yeah, I teased David about it a bit, obviously, but it was just an example of. People talk about that West Indies team. They talk about the bowlers. But actually, their batting was absolutely awesome as well. Was it Larry Gomes who also got runs in that one? I mean, such an understated, hardly ever talked about batsman who just calmly ran things around at number 3. Go on, Andy. What were the
played for Middlesex, didn't he, Larry Gomes?
Yes, he did. Yeah.
So England declared 300 for 9 on day 5. They'd been 287 for 7 overnight. West Indies chasing 342, 344 for 1 in 66.1 overs at 5.2 and over.
Yeah, I mean, in those days.
Yeah, it's still one of the quickest innings ever played. Greenwich 214 off 242. The 1 wicket was a run out. That was Desmond Haynes, and Larry Gomes 92 not out.
What was our attack then? Because I think was it Willis, Foster?
Willis, Ian Botham, who took 8 in the first innings, 0 for 117 off 20 in the second innings. Derek Pringle, Neil Foster, and Jeff Miller was the spinner.
Just on Gordon Greenwich, we were with Sean Udall, the ex-Hampshire Middlesex England player. Just a few days ago, we said, "Come on, Sean, what's your best team that you've ever played with? You've got to pick an 11 from those that you've played with." And he went, let's go through. He said Matthew Hayden, played with Hayden. David Warner, played with David Warner here at Middlesex. Good opening pair. Number 3, Gower. They were at number 4, Robin Smith, Judge. Number 5, Kevin Peterson. 6, Freddie Flintoff. Number 7, Adam Gilchrist, played with Gilly here at Middlesex. Shane Warner, 8. Wasim Akram at 9,
Yeah.
Malcolm Marshall at 10, Jimmy Anderson 11. We were like, what a team. And then we're in the green room after just chatting away. And he went, oh, I forgot Gordon Greenwich. What a team that is.
Ridiculous. We were trying to play it next door.
Yeah, we were.
Getting a bit thin.
Yeah.
Oh, so you've picked your team, have you, that you played?
Well, we'll do it later.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perhaps for another rain. Don't
It's a good game, though.
Don't
It's
do
a
it
good
now.
game.
Yeah, it's a good game. Yeah, I mean, he was a fabulous player, wasn't he, Gordon Greenwich?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
But so watch for the limp. If he turned up limping,
Run for the hills.
Yeah, I agree with you about you look at it now. He's 340. Sort of one-day matches. Teams sort of do quite well on that. Sometimes under that sort of chasing pressure, but it was the ease with which they did it, and it was sort of. Even though they were a great side, it felt unexpected, didn't it? Because David was getting so much stick for not pulling out early.
But also, in those days, there would not have been the minimum overs in a day, so you could slow it down. You could slow it down however you wanted, but which I'm sure they did. But they still
they won well inside the distance. Yeah. Now all of you went for, I mean, an astonishing moment. The 2019 World Cup. So not a test match. This is the 150th test here, but everyone went for 2019. It was a strange day, wasn't it? Because it kind of wasn't a great game until the last hour. I remember Mark Woodall said, it was a horrible game. I sort of kind of hated the day, really. I hated the match. I remember him saying that when we talked to him about it. But
I can remember, there were so many different things. The bat that went for 4 off of Stokes, the drop catch, I think Trent Bolt dropped him there, and everything, the singing and everything. But I can just remember being in this commentary box. I think you actually was on with John at the end, and I was sort of hauled off because I just kept going, run! It was just completely, thankfully Aggers was there to sort of explain what was going on, but it was just such, it was crazy. You got so wrapped up in the game, it was amazing. Yeah.
It was a day we'll never forget, that. Wasn't it? I mean, it really was. And you just felt at the start of that World Cup that this was England's moment.
Yeah,
home World Cup. What a chance really to ignite the game. The one thing that really still gets me is how Ian Smith, 2 boxes down here, could see that he was run out. Because you look at the view from here, and he was running to the far end, throw coming in from mid-wicket, he dived. How could you see from here that he was a yard out? I mean, I don't know how he did it. It was just instinct or something, because you couldn't tell. You couldn't tell whether he was actually in or out. And he called it straight away.
Well, his line, the barest of margins, is one that.
Yeah, and where did it come from? I mean, it just. And he had it, and I've always been a bit cross about mine because I honestly, I mean, you thought it was probably right, and of course then England are celebrating, and then it went to the third umpire, which is quite dramatic, and you get the big cheer at the end. But how Ian called that and got the barest of margins and all that stuff live was absolutely remarkable.
Yeah. I'll tell you who's forgotten a little bit about that. Jason Roy.
Yeah, with a throw.
The old electric hands. Got smacked out to like a deep mid-wicket. If he'd have fumbled or anything, but he picked it up and got a good throw back to Joss.
But again, that day, I remember the pitch was everything that England didn't want. Because it was a sluggish pitch and they wanted a bit of pace so they could smack the 350s that they'd been smacking on a regular bed, dismantled Australia in the semi.
That's right.
Just went, get rid of the Aussies. And it was a perfect style pitch for the Kiwis. It was their kind of surface. There was a few little calls that went a bit the way of the England side. That drop catch of Bolt.
Yeah.
I remember, I thought, is it written?
Yeah.
And Jofra Archer, Jofra bowling the super over, just getting it right,
Well, he went for
just getting. That's why I say just
first 2 balls or something like that.
Yeah, and he managed to get it back, keep his composure. So many things around that day. I mean, Joss put the plane nice, and then he got out, and I thought, they've lost this.
The other thing was, did Stokes have a full toss on leg stump, and he just tried to knock it for 2, and then Woody got run out? I mean, 9 times out of 10, that's over old father time, wasn't it? And he just sort of knocked it for 2. We went, what are you doing? Oh, it's amazing.
Well, one thing about it also is that it was an astonishing, once-in-a-lifetime day, really, with the super over as it was and everything else. Why the ICC has decided, therefore, that you should have as many super overs as you like at the end of a one day, that would have, just call it kind of quit. If the Super Over ends in a tie, which they have done already, because you've only got 6 balls, so the odds are that you're going to go on and on and on. That was special. Just leave it. Leave it as it was.
What, share the cup?
Well, no, you have to find a way.
Right.
I mean, I didn't object necessarily to they all signed up. You've got to find some way of finding a winner in a tie, haven't you? So you have a Super Over. If that fails, I think you do go back to stats. I mean, how long are you going to sit here for watching Super Overs? How many are going to... one day there'll be 3. Because someone will score 14, next team will score 14, and you go and do it again. And it just sucks it out. And I thought that was such a brilliant occasion. Just leave it at that. But it was the boundaries, wasn't it? The number of boundaries that were struck in the day. Well, that's a way of separating. I mean, they all signed up to it. They all agreed to it. I know the Kiwis were grumpy about it, but that was what was agreed.
Yeah, the singing as well. The singing. I've never heard Lord sing like that. Everyone up in the pavilion, weren't they?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Well, we were very lucky to be out there, and we did the lap. I remember getting a selfie.
Ridiculous.
Myself and Owen Morgan. That's our
noise
privilege
again.
of being out and about when a team's celebrating. But Lords has had many moments of celebration with England teams, but I'd never heard a crowd like that.
A noise.
Just one thought on you mentioned the commentary at the end there. I'm just thinking from a technical point of view. I wonder whether actually Ian Smith, I haven't asked him about this, I haven't thought about it, is that because as a radio commentator you're watching the middle, whereas Smithy was probably watching the monitor.
I think he was watching the monitor.
So he had
Side on.
Close up anyway.
I think he must have
had a much better view of what happened at the end than you have from a long distance in the commentary
I think he would have been watching that monitor with a side-on camera. He must have done, because you can't, the cloud of dust, all that stuff. So it always just niggles away a bit.
Or he went with England's celebration.
That hadn't happened quickly enough. He called it straight away, didn't he?
Yeah.
He's run out by the barest of margins. He went for it.
Final 2. Michael, you went for the 2017 Women's World Cup.
Yeah, when Anya got the 6th defending against India, won by 9. Near on sellout, which was historic for the women's game back then. And again, I remember just sitting at home and watching the whole thing. And the outcome came and England just found a way. India were controlling the game, absolutely controlling that game. It was done. Then from the pavilion end, she produced one of the great spells to get England that trophy in the hands. Yeah, but it was the crowd and the atmosphere that came through the television, and obviously to see Anya doing what she's done. Yeah, it was a special moment.
She was here 2 days ago.
She was. I'll tell you where she was. She was in the chairman's.
She was.
Down there, and she was getting stuck in.
Yeah,
Didn't someone drop an absolute Uber at mid-off? And we thought, oh my, no, that was the World Cup, and they've just dropped.
Absolutely.
I forget her name now. Someone at mid-off, but...
Jenny Gunn.
Yes, Jenny Gunn, that was it. And we all gone, oh no. Yeah. And then...
I think that was the commentary. I think whoever was commentating, I don't think who was commentating at the time, just said, oh no. You don't normally hear on a sort of non-partisan commentary.
And the next ball, I think, polls everywhere, and they'd won it. Yeah, great day.
So final memory, actually, is one of yours, Tuffers.
Oh.
And it's the last time Shoaib Bashir bowled in a test match, full stop.
Well, I know. Against India. Well, that was again another feisty encounter, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Glorious hot sunny day, wasn't it? You could see 2 teams really smashing up against each other. Lots of chat. Was it Crawley and Duckett and everything like that?
Shubman Gill getting in.
Yeah, Shubman Gill getting in and everything like that. And then that delivery, there again, India were going to save it here. They started playing really well. And then that delivery from Shoaib, which... Poor old. What was it?
It took a left turn.
It did. I've never seen a delivery like it. No, who was batting?
Siraj.
Siraj, that's right. He's just gone back and he's sort of punched it back up the pitch, and it sort of spun back and then took a left turn and just hit the thing. And I can remember I was commentating on that, and I laughed. I sort of went, oh, he's bowled him. It was just such an incredible...
We heard it at the start. They all kind of like Muttley laugh.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, that was it. And I just couldn't believe it. And then again, the celebrations and the crowd have all gone up. Shoaib was punching the air. He'd broken his finger. And it was just that intense cricket that had been all the way through the Test match. They'd been right at each other, just trying to get that sort of inch in front of each other, and then just what a ball, just a little funny little spinny thing, sort of wiggled its way back and just knocked a bail off.
That was a great game.
Yeah, it was.
I remember the night before when I think it was Bryden Carse charging in. He got a couple, and then Joffre's spell on the last morning.
Yeah,
did for Rishad. I think he knocked Rishad's off flying out the ground, and it was that again. It's just the atmosphere here when it's hot here, and and the game's good, and it's really kind of closely fought, and there's a little bit of needle. We've had some real needle here at Lords over the years in terms of teams going at each other, and I think they kind of really get it here. The crowd, they get the understanding of what's happening out in the middle. Not saying other venues don't, but there just seems to be an incredible atmosphere when the game gets hot, the crowd get involved.
And literally the temperature as well. It was a glorious summer's, shirt sleeves were on, what I mean? It was just brilliant.
Yeah, it was an incredible Test match. 387, played 387, played 190, played 170, something like that. England winning by 22 runs. Is that the tightest finish by runs we've had in a Lord's Test match? I've just thrown that beamer at Zoltz to come up with.
Little curveball.
Yeah, it's easy to forget, actually, we talk about a shortened Test match here, that all of the 5 Test matches last year against India went to the 5th day, didn't they?
Brilliant.
Yep.
Yeah. What's yours, Simon? Have you got one that you can just call on? Crikey, you've seen a bit of cricket here, mate. No? Bit short notice.
Well, I think that one was astonishing, wasn't it? That game last year, obviously 2019 as well. But I was also here, this is really parochial, for the Gloucestershire-Somerset one-day final.
I was going to ask you about it. Gloucester used to be here.
Yeah, all the time.
All the time.
Yeah, it was their second home, Michael.
Bearing in.
Proctor was 73 and 77, so they beat Sussex in 73, when Tony Gregg was run out by Jim Fote. And Jim Fote, who basically was... I don't know if Jim would be listening, but he wasn't the greatest county back, but he was a very good fielder back in the day. Almost like a specialist fielder. Yeah. And he picked it up at cover, and Tony Gregg set off, and he ran in with the ball. Rather than throw the ball at the stumps, he ran in and he ran out Tony Gregg, and that was a significant wicket in that match. Anyway, that was a victory in 1973. And then do we go through them all? 1977 against Kent. That was after Mike Proctor's 4 in 5 in the semi-final against Hampshire.
That was semi-final, wasn't it?
That was in the semi-final, and then the final they beat Kent by about 60 runs, when Kent were much, very fancy side, lots of very good players. And then, of course, in the turn of the century, start of the 21st century, just used to win all the time. You already mentioned it, Michael. You were defeated by Gloucestershire. But anyway, there was a match. One of the finals.
Nasty.
Well, Michael brought it up. One of the finals when Gloucestershire beat Somerset, and I think Jack talks about it, didn't he? He said there was at one point there was because of course it was the West Country final. It was like stand up if you're West Country, and the whole crowd stood up because of course it was the first ever, and I think it has been the first ever, only ever Lord's final between Somerset and Gloucestershire.
Umpires coming out with umbrellas up, usually a bad sign.
Yeah. Well, it's around about 5 o'clock. I think there's a feeling that they might well call it off for the day now. But I mean, if it did stop, there were only 5 wickets to win the game, and there's still
light, though, isn't it?
Yeah, there is that. What have you got for results?
That was the closest finish by runs. The 22-run victory for England against India last year. Second closest was that Ashes Test, Australia winning by 43 in 2023 with the Johnny Bairstow incident. There was a 51-run win for South Africa in a classic game in 2012 as well. The 2 closest by wickets were those 2 games we mentioned earlier on, the West Indies Test of 2000 that Michael played in and played a big part in that 4th innings chase, and the Pakistan 2-wicket victory in 1992. So not too many really close finishes in Lord's Test. One of the sort of most notable games, West Indies won here in 1950, their first win in England. It was the longest Test ever played at Lord's in terms of overs. We're having one of the shortest ever here. There were over 600 overs in that match across was quite a short 5th day as well. They really churned through them in those days. This match we're going to be lucky to get to 150.
Should mention 63 and Colin Cowdrey and his broken arm coming out. The last pair together had his arm broken by by Wes Hall. He never actually faced a ball, did he? Unlike poor old Paul Terry, and he was subjected to it up at Old Trafford. So Colin was at the non-strikers end,
and Chris Wokes as well.
Yes, absolutely. He had to face. So Colin never had to face a ball. 1963, it was all considered very exciting. Brought the nation to a standstill. That radio commentary. But it's a famous picture, isn't it? Him wandering down those pavilion steps and out with his broken arm.
Another sort of famous test moment in 1934, Yorkshire's Headley Verity took 14 wickets in a day against Australia to bowl England to victory. England didn't win another Ashes test on this ground until 2009.
How many times has the first 3 balls of a test match been hit for 4?
Well, that happened in that 63 test.
It did.
Conrad Hunt.
Bowled by Fred Truman, who didn't talk about it very much.
But he did take, I think, 11 wickets in that test. So things got better for him. Yeah.
I suppose the other thing about Lords as well is because there are many more Lords Test matches, there are many more memories, aren't there? There are 150, but often in an English summer there are 2 Lords Test matches. This summer there are 3.
Okay, I do digress here a little bit, but you can't forget the grub. You can't forget the food, eh, mate? It's good food.
Well, I think it's absolutely a travesty that the England cricket team have brought their own chef.
It's extraordinary.
I think that's...
it's talking about cost cutting. They bring a chef to Lords.
It used to be a highlight.
I think
the toss and have a bat.
Oh, yeah. But I think the England chef's just helping out in terms of what the players eat. I think it's still cooked, obviously, by the team.
Well, you'd be very happy if you're in that Lord's, the catering staff.
The lamb chops.
Done it for years. You've got a great reputation. You've got a chef coming in.
The chef's coming in and getting rid of those massive prawns, I ain't happy. And the sticky toffee pudding and ice cream.
We probably do need to do a bit more investigation. So does the chef sort their meals out in the evening?
Yes.
He does?
Yeah, he gave them some lovely lamb cutlets the night before the game, I believe.
So he goes to the hotel and sort of takes over the kitchen and says...
they'll have a team room and... I get it now.
Well, I do see it in the evening because I've stayed in team hotel here actually, and seen Deliveroo turning up with brown bags and the players picking up the food and going up to the room. So perhaps that needed a bit of control.
They probably have a team room set up at the hotel with I guess there'll be massage the bowlers at night and a good way of getting together, and they've probably got a golf simulator in there. That's the usual thing that they have these days. I'm sure there's a darts board as well. It keeps all the players together rather than back in the day, Phil, we used to sneak out and get in amongst them.
I know. I wouldn't fancy having me lamb chops watching one of the boys having a massage.